In this video, we look at 3 techniques to encounter and embrace your shadow self and quit self-sabotage. Hello, welcome back to Puck's Imaginary Planet. My name is Puck. This is the 3rd episode in a series of videos that's all about how to cope with self-sabotage and how to embrace or integrate your shadow self. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's probably because you haven't seen the first 2 parts. You can find it here. There. Last week was kind of a different video than I imagined it to be. And why? Because I ran into self-sabotage myself. Also, there's something interesting about showing yourself in a less optimal way. I think because we're comfortable with showing the best parts of ourselves through social media, it suddenly really stands out when you show yourself in a less optimal way, what I did in that last video. But to assure you, I have never been better. My psychological healing is going great. That doesn't mean that I don't have days where I feel completely lost again. However, throughout the years, I've learned so many techniques that I can now apply that much quicker I can get out of these very dark or down moments. And so I thought actually it's really good to show that, because this is exactly what I've been talking about. Self-sabotage can hit you maybe out of nowhere because you're triggered by something. And the whole purpose of this series of videos about self-sabotage is that we try and learn ourselves how to spot the ways that you are triggered by your shadow self. The shadow self are aspects of our personality that we don't like to admit to, that we hide from others or maybe from ourselves. And sometimes these hidden parts come up to the surface and trigger self-sabotage mechanisms. One of the key elements of that video is the conclusion that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This is of course a very famous quote by Carl Jung. Even though I refer in my videos a lot to Jungian psychology, it's not like I'm some sort of like Jung fangirl. I think there's also lots of Jungian psychology that's very outdated. That's why for today's video I have chosen 3 techniques that are based in different types of therapy. There's some really helpful techniques that we can also apply to ourselves, by ourselves. I try to pick helpful aspects out of different therapy techniques that I've learned myself throughout the years. I am not a trained psychologist. I am here speaking from my own personal point of view, my own lived experience. I'm an artist and not a psychologist. However, throughout the years, I have come across so many different techniques, and some of them were really helpful for me, so I hope they can be helpful for you. This is an exercise that comes from the foundation of CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. The key message of CBT is that the way we think, our cognitions, and what we do, our behavior, affects the way we feel, our feelings. It follows that if we want to change the way we feel, then we will need to make changes to the way we think and act. I will use my experience as an example. A shadow trigger would cause me to get snowed in by my invasive thoughts, so I would hide from the world until it would pass by, which then would make me even feel worse about myself. And I did one thing differently this time. This time I interrupted the cycle by making a video about it.
Trace the truth inside this house of lies. Emotions trapped within, all confined. Between the ears is where these thoughts reside.
The goal of cognitive behavioral therapy is to help you develop a more balanced thinking about the situation and combat your automatic thoughts and reactions that can cause the self-sabotage loop. Think of a time that things did not go well for you and bring to mind the things that you usually do in a problematic situation. Choose to change one thing. Not all of the things, just one thing. And it can be anything, such as the timing, your body patterns and what you do with your body, what you say and how you say it, the location or where it happens, or the order you do things in. When a similar issue comes up again, what part of that problem situation will you do differently now? It helps if you can write it down to keep yourself reminded. Empty chair technique or chair work is typically used in Gestalt therapy to get you to think about your emotions and attitudes towards an ongoing self-sabotage pattern in your life. It's almost a form of role play. It might feel very weird and uncomfortable at first, but it helps you to see the situation from a different perspective and gain insight into your feelings and behaviors that come from your shadow self. Take a seat with opposite you facing an empty chair. In the chair, you picture a part of yourself, your shadow self, if you can give it form, through which you are experiencing conflict. Then, you speak to the empty chair or that vision of your worst self, and you explain your feelings, thoughts, and understanding of the situation. After you've shared your side of things, you move to the other chair. Then, you respond to what you just said from that shadow self perspective, taking on their role. You may move back and forth between the chairs several times to continue the dialogue. As you verbalize what's going on, the abstract becomes more concrete and you allow yourself to experience different aspects of yourself and gain insight into your struggle. If putting things into words or writing is difficult for you, this third exercise might be more suitable. It is based on art therapy, and somehow a form of Jung's active imagination, you could say. For me personally, this exercise has also created some space for a little bit of humor and distance from my own shadow self, seeing it as a character rather than identifying with it. We are going to personalize and externalize your shadow self. We're going to see it as a living entity that is a separate thing to your actual self. Take a situation, event, or feeling that felt problematic and hurtful for you, something you associate with your self-sabotaging. Create a visual image for your own shadow self. It might be your inner critic, your inner child, an inner demon. You can draw or doodle it on a piece of paper or collect images that resonate with you and collage them together. You can make it look ridiculous, you can try to mimic its voice, give it a name if you like, but most importantly, remember that it's not actually you. Take out the drawing or collage whenever you feel the self-sabotage pattern coming up again. Talk to it. Ask it what it wants, what it needs, and what would make things better. How can you offer your help to this shadow self? Use compassion and empathy instead of frustration or anger. So thank you again for watching. It really means a lot to me. I think at this moment, as I'm making this, I have 86 subscribers. I know a lot of people will think that is not a lot, but for me it is. And I had this sort of idea in mind that if I reach, or when, not if, when I reach 100 subscribers, I want to do a special episode. So this is my honest and sincere request. If any of these videos, if you like them, or if you feel like they've helped you in any way, maybe you can subscribe. If you already have subscribed, maybe you can invite a friend to subscribe. It would really mean the world to me, because I have this thing in mind that I really want to do at 100 subscribers, and we're only 14 subscribers away, so that should be doable, right? Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.